Cannabis Hypermesis syndrome, aka Scromiting. Have you seen the articles about it? I'm surprised if you haven't, because I've been seeing them pretty much everywhere I fucking look, it feels like. They must know I'm a stoner, and then, like, here, show them the shit. So, I was curious, and I see a lot of misinformation and just questions that don't really get answered well about Scromiting or Cannabis Hypermesis syndrome. Whatever you want to call it. Scromiting sounds ridiculous, to be honest with you. But you'll figure out, I guess, why they call it Scromiting the more we talk about it here. So, is weed nowadays sending heavy weed users to the ER with uncontrollable vomiting, like some articles are saying? Because, I mean, like I said, if you've been paying attention and we're getting the same news cycle, then you probably have seen it. If you haven't read the articles, it's pretty much what they're stating. Is that there's a newfangled syndrome. Newfangled, what the fuck? Syndrome that's sending motherfuckers to the ER, right? Because, I'm sorry, I'm breaking down some stuff right now as we speak. So anyways, is it real, right? Is it happening? Is that some shit that's actually happening, or is it bullshit? Anecdotally, working with what we got anecdotally here from my research and reading a bunch, yeah, it seems to be real. It doesn't seem to be very common yet, but it's like a lot of ER doctors particularly have said that they've seen an uptick in people with symptoms and history, blah, 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 that matches cannabis hypermesis syndrome. Some ER doctors also have said that they think that some ER doctors are just misdiagnosing people with it because it's a convenient diagnosis for the symptoms and the supportive care that it needs, which is basically just keeping them fucking hydrated because the shit saps your moisture. So is there some misdiagnosis and overinflation of cases too? Maybe. That's the problem, though, with cannabis being federally illegal at Schedule 1 for as long as it's been, is that it has hindered actual good research, studies, shit like that we need for information. So, you know, a lot of people, and I'm making another video soon about the rescheduling and what it actually means. But one good thing that it will do, hopefully, is give these universities and researchers easier access to studying cannabis, its effects, its negatives, its pluses, this possible new syndrome, you know, and its details, basically, how common it is. All that shit needs to be answered, but it needs to be studied first, okay? So, but anecdotally, it doesn't seem to be very common, but it does seem to really fucking suck. Like, people that I've read from it said, like, they were puked. They puked until they couldn't puke, and then they were just dry heaving. And wanting to scream and vomit all at the same time, I guess, is where that fucking name came from. So why are you seeing an uptick in articles about it? Well, I think it may be because it is something that is happening, or at least seems to be happening. So it's going to get attention, which I guess it should. I mean, that's nothing necessarily bad about that, but I do, in my opinion, and a lot of other people share this opinion. It almost seems like common sense in the way capitalist societies operate with, and I'm not a communist or any crazy shit like that, so don't fucking think I'm like, fucking down with capitalism. I'm just saying, motherfuckers don't care about profits. And these companies, big alcohol, big pharma, big fucking tobacco, they are hurting. Their profits are hurting because of cannabis. You can go look at these articles on Google, all these articles from different states that say where they're legalizing cannabis, opioid usages have went down, fucking alcohol, especially among like younger people, has went down, and cigarettes as well. So they're hurting. So I'm sure they're pushing out the more sensationalistic articles, at least, that you're seeing pop up, because it hurts their competition. But also, it does seem to be becoming more of a common issue. And why is that? The main theory, I think, and I seem to agree with, is that just the potency of cannabis products, not necessarily just flower, and it has went up, because in 2008, it was like 8% or so, I believe, average THC percentage in flower. Now we're up to 20+% average, even for some mids. So that has went up, yes. But you're also talking about, let's see here, vapes, right? Distillate vapes, cheap, 99% THC, wrecks your tolerance. I know that from personal experience. It hasn't made me sick, but I can see, I'm like wondering, like, are these kids that are puffing these fucking 99% THC vapes like candy, is it fucking them up? Like, if I would have started that shit before I was 25, would it have fucked me up? I don't know. We need to research. But it stands to reason that potency might have something to do with it, right? And also, this is just anecdotal on my own, but also some other people have pointed to things, cannabinoids like THCP that are semi-synthetically extracted. I'm not going to go into the full process of that and nerd out over it. But anyways, THCP is marketed as 33 times more potent than regular THC. And at least in edible form, I can at least, I mean, you know what, I didn't measure the shit, but it fucked me. It was the worst 2-day high I've ever had. And when I say 2 days, I mean 2 days. My poor wife was sick, puking, everything. She got sick, so I don't know if it was cannabis hypermesis syndrome, but it fucked her up. She definitely greened out. So yeah, so I think some of these, especially like THCP, that's just unreasonably potent, also might have something to do with it. But that's stuff that they're going to have to study for us to figure out what's contributing to it exactly. Because all this is just anecdotal and just going off of what I observe. So the takeaway right now really is, I know a lot of people don't want to believe anything bad about cannabis. And I've caught up in that mindset because it's helped me so much. It is a great natural plant, herb, medicine, whatever you want to call it, but it is still a mind-altering substance. And any mind-altering substance comes with inherent risks. It does. Denying it, doesn't solve those risks. You need to be honest with yourself. CHS, cannabis hypermesis syndrome, does seem rare, but it seems to also probably be a real thing to be at least aware of, right? But the best defense against that and really most of these bad reactions is to know what you're fucking ingesting, which is more than a lot of people can say, because just do your research, know what you're ingesting. Plain and simple. Avoid the ultra high potency THCP gummies and shit, or if you don't avoid them, at least I'm talking about like take a half of one. Trust me. And then report results back to here because I'm curious. But anyway, so know what you're ingesting and start low and go slow. Just like I tell everybody, take your shit slow, start low, a low dose, and see how it makes you feel. Don't feel rushed to get too high, because when you get too high, or don't feel rushed to get super high, because when you get too high, good luck taking that shit back. That's all I'm saying. So anyways, is it real? Yeah, probably. It seems like it. Is it common? Doesn't seem like it. But, if you're concerned about it, just, like I said, know what you're ingesting in moderation. And like, this is do as I say, not as I do. Because I try to overdose on THC every night. But I'm stupid. So don't do what I do. Unless you can fucking handle it, I guess. But anyway, stay lit, stay educated. And like I said, I'll have a video coming out pretty soon on the rescheduling. Because there's a lot of confusion about that as well. Holy shit. Anyways, take it easy. Stay lit.